Hi guys, it's Ray from Race Turquoise Turtle. Today we are going to do a 30-ounce thick with a nightmare tattoo. I ordered off of Amazon the one that has like the full sleeve and the half sleeve, they say. This one was close to 20 inches long to begin with, 18 something. So I measured it in two pieces to fit my cup. And I actually ended up cutting out a tiny bit, but that's just how it's going to fit on here. So I prepped my cup. I spray painted it white first. And then I used Rust-Oleum Glow-in-the-Dark Max. I put 2 to 3 coats on here. I think I ended up with 3. I was trying to beat the rain while I was doing it, so they were kind of quick, close together coats, but they should be fine. And then I trimmed my tattoo around the edges, and I'm ready to apply it. So these are going to be huge to work with, but peel the protective layer off and very, very carefully get your tattoo placed. And I may go off the top or the bottom a tiny bit, and if so, I will have to trim it down in a bit. But I am going directly onto the spray paint, yes, with my tattoo. So, because this is so big, it's not going to want to stay on its own. But the water will pretty quickly hold it down. So this is just a wet paper towel. And I'm going to put some pressure on there. And make sure it's actually covering the whole tattoo or enough that it's dripping over. Including any that's going over the bottom edge. So I'm going to smooth that out. It's best to get it as bubble free as you can with the backing on. And I'm just trying to slightly move it to see if it's ready to release. I typically like to slide them, but because this one's so big, I'm going to just peel it. But that actually folded nicely over the bottom rims. I think I'll be okay just leaving it. And I'm going to take a silicone brush and just push any bubbles out that I can see. And that feels pretty good. So, I'm actually going to blot this real quick because I don't want it getting wet on here when I flip it to do the other half of the tattoo. So, and I'm going to wipe the other side of the cup dry also. So, I'm going to do the same thing with the other half. I have this about centered, so I'm going to, again, pretty carefully, and this may overlap a little bit side to side. It's fine. Let me get my rag wet again. That's going to come down. That's going to come down. I think somewhere in there Hopefully it doesn't overlap too much. I won't really be able to tell until I pull it. I am trying to keep the end of my pipe propped up a little bit on the other end so it's not sticking to the foam, but just a little bit of the bottom is on the foam. And let's see if that is ready. Again, I'm just going to do a peel. So I do have a little bit of overlap, but it's not bad on either side. It kind of blends. So I do have a much bigger air bubble in this one. So I'm going to make sure I work that out. And I'm getting the silicone brush wet so that I hopefully don't scrape the tattoo. Ooh, which I did a little bit there. That's all right. I think I may have actually hit it with my nail. The problem with these giant tattoos is they come folded in the package, which is slightly less than ideal, but they're not going to send a 20-inch long package. For an $8 set of tattoos. So this is over on the top. Sorry, let me get this out of the way. So I'm going to take just an X-Acto knife and trim along the rim. And as long as that's cut, it'll clean up when I finish the tumbler. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come back in and show you how I'm going to fill all of these spaces and the bottom. Okay, so I am ready to finish this one up. I have a little bit of purple alcohol ink here. I cleaned my brush out, and I have ash. It's not quite going to be too black, but it should be pretty darn close to black. Yep. So I'm going to grab a little cup for the ash. And I'm just going to start with the ash and kind of, yeah, that's about perfect. That's why I was hoping it would be like this smoky color. And I'm just going to start filling in. I was going to mix some of the purple, but I think just the ash is going to work beautifully. I'm just going to work around and blend. Blend out all of my edges. And I'm going to do the entire bottom with the ash. Since that color is going to work so super well. It's okay if I went a little high there, because it's all just going to blend together anyways. I do want the bottom to look fairly smooth, so I'm kind of trying to look at that. So I'm going to look for any other areas that may have some overlap that might need to be worked or reworked. Love it. Alright, so that one was pretty darn simple. I'm gonna let this finish drying. Actually, I'm gonna do one more thing. I have, hopefully this is just green, not too blendy. I have a little brush here. This brush might be bigger than I ideally want. I'm going to try and touch up that little smudge on Oogie Boogie. So I just want, it's not going to be perfect obviously, but it's better than having these little white spots show through. Just going to put a drop directly on my brush. Oops. Flinging green ink across the room. And I can actually come back in with that ash and get a couple little spots that got slightly boogered up that way. And I may actually run through that sideways with the black. Just try and blend it a little bit more. So I think under resin, that's now not going to be noticeable, or hardly noticeable at all. So I'm going to give this a bit of time to dry, and then I will be back in to put some resin on this full wrap tattoo. Okay, I'm ready to get the epoxy on this one. I am not doing anything special to it. This is just getting a normal, good, heavy coat. So, I have my resin mixed, and I'm just going to get a good layer on here. I don't seal the tattoo after I apply it, I just go directly on top. Let me get my other light on here. And this is, again, a 30-ounce thick, so it's got a lot of surface to cover. So this is getting a good deal of resin. This one I'm not putting any glitter, any cheat, anything, just plain. So. I'm putting a good 25 mLs on here, just to get a really good solid coat. Okay, So I will bring you down for a close-up after this has had a little bit of time to spin. Okay, bringing you down to see this one. I'm going to let it do one full rotation first. Sorry about my hand in the way there. I want to get this piece of tattoo out of the way. So that is the full cup. Again, I didn't do any sparkle or anything on this one. That way it's more suitable for a male or a female. The guys don't always like the glitter so much. Show you the bottom, but it's just that ash color that just kind of blends right in. I'll show you that little patch I did on Oogie Boogie. It actually looks pretty good. It shows more on the camera. Flaws always show more on camera. That's just how that goes. There's Jack. But that is it. I am quite pleased with how this ginormous tattoo worked out. So, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know.